High performance JW Speaker J3 headlights for the giveaway Gladiator. Stay tuned. So what's so cool about the new J3 headlights from JW Speaker? Well, that's a good question. Let's take a look at some of the specs. First off, there's 35 individual LED lights in this one lamp. 35. And between those 35, it's going to give us 5 different functions. It's going to give us a high beam, a low beam, a turn indicator, something that's called front position. It's a Canadian thing, we don't have to worry about that. And it'll give us daytime running lights. Now, the high beam features that JW Speaker dual burn technology, which is, well, basically it keeps the low beams on at the same time your high beams are on. It gives you that nice fill. Awesome for bombing down the highways. The low beam in these lights is the only low beam that meets the NHTSA, National Highway Safety Transit Traffic Administration, something like that, their NCAP 5-star rating. That's right, the only headlight that does that. That's really cool. It's got this built-in turn indicator we mentioned before. Works beautiful in the JK. They just don't have the wiring yet for the JL, JT. When they do, now your turn indicators are built right into your headlights. That's really cool. And of course, if you put a set in now, it's upgradable in the future. They're also available heated or non-heated. Of course, this is the giveaway Gladiator, so we're going to stick a set of heated ones in there. Now, another cool thing, it's got an app. That's right, you can run these headlights with your phone. And you can program these headlights with your phone too, which makes it future-proof. JW Speaker comes out with an upgrade to these lights. You can easily just program it. Yeah, with your phone. Now, being just a normal 7-inch headlight, you gotta ask, how does it go in there? Well, JW Speaker has this JL JT headlight bucket assembly. You bolt the headlight right into there and the bucket bolts right in. So I can continue talking about these lights, or we can just get them installed, and I vote for that. So to get at the headlights, the first thing we need to do is remove the grill, and we've got 6 of these little push pins that lock it in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And to pop them out, just take a little screwdriver, pop that center up. Oh yeah, easier said than done, right? There we go. Now we're going to take our grill and pop it up and out. And then we've got little snap clips all the way along the face here. And just kind of work your way back and forth, back and forth. And the grill is off. Now that the grill is off, we got to remove the headlight bucket. There's 3 screws, 1, 2, and 3. Takes a 10mm socket. Oh, look at that, blue Loctite. Now grab the light bucket and just pull forward. On the back, you'll see the plug here. We can just press down and give us a wiggle. Plug comes out and our headlight is out. Now, one question you might ask is, wait a minute, doesn't the JL JT have a 9-inch headlight? Well, if we take a tape measure and put it across the whole headlight, yes, it's 9 inches from outer edge to outer edge. But the actual light itself is just right about 7 inches. So when we go and put a high-performance 7-inch headlight, we're getting the same performance or better because it is a high-performance LED. Now, to install your JW Speaker J3 into these cool JW Speaker headlight buckets, we're just going to pull the top ring off and then the light ring. And now the JW Speaker headlight can drop right in. And make sure you click it into place. The headlight has little tabs on the back side, and the bucket has little pockets for those tabs. Now we can take our bezel or our ring, drop it in place, and they give you a bunch of little screws. Take the screws and the Phillips screwdriver and put in the 3 screws holding the ring in first. And now we can take that larger outer ring, and you do have these tabs on there that only line up in one position. And then grab the 3 larger screws and come in from the side and anchor that outer ring. Now, as we said, you can aim these headlights, and what you have is you have a floating bucket inside the larger outer bucket that the headlight bolts into. On the side, you have these slots with these adjusters here, or maybe I should say locking nuts. Right. Then on the very back, we have the 2 main adjuster screws. So once we have them in the vehicle, we could actually reach behind with a screwdriver and aim the headlights using these 2 screws, and then just tighten these up a little bit, snug them back up, and that'll lock the floating bucket in there in position. Okay, for wiring these lights, take the included pigtail, snap it into the back. Now if we had a JK, we'd plug this into the headlight circuit, and this would go over to our turn indicator. For the JL and JT, we're then gonna plug in the JL JT wiring adapter, plug the harness in, and then right into the JL JT harness. Once JW Speaker has the turn indicator circuits all mapped out in the JL JT, then we'll be able to plug into that too and enable the built-in turn indicators. So they are working on that for the JL and JT. They just don't quite have it up to their standards yet. When they do, we will definitely let you know. I'm just going to take this excess wire and zip tie it together. All right, now the headlight bucket can go in. And there are 2 little alignment pins. You want to line up the bottom one first. And headlight number 1 is in. Okay, so to aim headlights, you need to park your vehicle 25 feet away from a wall, preferably on a nice flat level surface. Measure between your 2 headlamps. This here is 37.5 inches. Now we also want to measure to the ground. So measure down to the ground up to the center of the headlight. Here we're looking right at 48.5. Now we're going to walk straight forward and transfer those dimensions on the wall, and I'm just going to use some green tape. So I'm going to measure up 48.5 inches. Piece of tape. And measure over approximately 37.5, which will put us right about there. Now we're going to go up 48.5 again. All right, so now this is basically the center of our headlights. And as we aim them, we want to make them just a little bit low and just a little bit towards the passenger side. All right, so now this is the beam pattern for our passenger side. If you look, it's nice and flat here, and then we've got this elbow or this little bend and it comes up. All right, and this is the cross. This is our marker for that passenger light. We want to put this bend right here, right in the lower corner of that cross. As you can see, we've got a blanket over the driver's light. That's so we can aim the passenger light. You'll always want to just aim 1 light at a time, get them into the proper position. Now for the passenger side, we've removed the air box, and I'm just using a 8mm socket with a small ratchet. Now if we want to take a look at how that beam pattern is, we can start adjusting. So you can see we're a little high and we're a little too far left. I'm adjusting the upper adjustment. You can see we're going up. And here we're going down. Okay, so I'm turning the lower adjuster counterclockwise, and you can see it's moving that elbow over towards the tape mark. Now I'm going to go up to the upper adjuster, and I'm going to adjust this one clockwise. Oh, that's going up. So let's adjust it counterclockwise. And now we're dropping down. And look at that. We're going to put that beam pattern right there on that cross. That little elbow in the beam pattern. So that one is adjusted. Now we will pull the headlight bucket back out, tighten up the Frankenstein bolts, slip the headlight bucket back in, and we're good. So now onto the driver's side. So there's our driver's side beam pattern, and we're just a little high. With all the stuff they've jammed in there on this driver's side, it can be a little tough. So I've got this extra long 8mm with a swivel head, and that allows me to get down in on the lower and the upper adjuster screw. Okay, so as we look at this driver's beam pattern, here's the flat, here's our elbow right here, or our little kink, and it goes uphill. So we pretty much just got to drop this one down and maybe suck it in about 1/2 inch. So now aiming headlights isn't exactly rocket surgery, but hey, you can get it done if you have marks on a wall, if you set yourself 25 feet back and then aim your headlights. The biggest thing is also, are people flashing you? If so, adjust those lights so you're not that Jeep person. So now that I've tightened those Frankenstein bolts a bit, you can see that the passenger side light has jumped up a little bit. So our bend is right in here. We've actually gone towards the ditch a little bit, and we've gone a little high. Now we'll have to drive it and see if it's gonna piss off other drivers. We don't wanna, have other people flashing their lights at us. But this is the ditch sides. Might be nice to have a little extra light on the side of the road. Okay, so product setup, we're gonna go to devices, scan for the devices, and we've got headlight 1. Now it's gonna ask for a nickname, and you do have to put a nickname in. So we're just gonna say number 1. And now it's checking for updates. Okay, and now we'll look for headlight 2. And nickname, we're just gonna call this one 2. Add device. Checking for updates. And then it's gonna say no vehicle selected, so we're gonna check our 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Now we can go back. Now we can select my vehicle, remote control. So here we have both the lights selected. We could go to standard. We can go to off-road, which then turns all the LEDs on, and we can change the punch and the spread. And we also have control over the side optics. And we can go to party mode, and we can even change it up. So you can see those amber turn indicators that we were talking about earlier, and as soon as JW Speaker has that add-on wiring harness for the JL and JT, we can add that in. And then this amber will be the turn signal also. Great for those wanting to do a flat fender kit or something that doesn't have lights on the fender. So there you go, the JW Speaker J3 LED headlamps, and it's all controllable with the J-Link app for your phone. So you have the standard mode, which is on-road, high beam, low beam, and of course that dual burn technology where both of them come on when your high beam is on. Then you have the off-road mode, where it turns on all the 35 LEDs in the light, and you can control the punch and the spread of that light. Then of course, if you're into those late night Jeep raves out in the middle of nowhere, you have the party mode, which maybe for some people, may not be for you. But what do you think? Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. As always, if you're not subscribed already, you should be. And until next time, thanks Northridge Nation.